Hello, today I want to show you how I made my very first silicone mold and how I made this shiny dagger out of it. Of course, at first I 3D modeled the dagger itself. The dagger is inspired by the game Realm Royale, which isn't really played anymore, but I played like 1 year ago and I was really enjoying it. Back then I started modeling this file, and since then it was laying around in my workshop and I decided to make a silicone mold of it. But before jumping right into the video, I want to tell you that you have to stay, or you can stay until the end of the video, because in the end of the video I will be sharing some information about a giveaway I'll be doing, because I'm close to 1,500 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and to celebrate it I want to give something away for you. So what do we need for the mold? We need some plastic for the mold balls and the mold base. We need the dagger, of course. We need some clay to form around the dagger and form the split line. We need some mold release. We need some resin. We need some silicone for the silicone mold, of course. And we need some toys. This is one of the cheapest mold making sets, modeling sets I could get. I don't really remember, but I think it was under 20 euros, so quite cheap, and it should have all the tools we need to model the mold. I'm gonna use this big part as the base for the dagger. First of all, I'm gonna look if it's sitting at the surface right, which it isn't. It's wiggling around, so we'll support the top surface and then we will start shaping around of the dagger. To support the dagger in the front on the blade part, I will use some cardboard strips which I will cut. So that is actually looking quite good. I'm gonna add some clay in the front, just so nothing can rinse under the dagger. I'm trying to work around the dagger. The form of dagger is quite simple. It's easier than I thought to model around. I'm really trying to press the clay against the model, quite rough, to don't leave any voids. So I roughed out the general shape of the dagger. I tried to cover the split line, so half of the part, with clay, and now I'm using some finer tools, not my fingers, to define some clean edges so the mold will be very clean. I'm trying to work into every little corner so that there's no gap, no hole, which the silicone can actually fill. If some clay is missing, I'm just using some smaller pieces, forming them and pressing them in. The piece itself is quite simple because it doesn't have any undercuts, if I'm going to the split line correctly. So I modeled out one of the halves in the clay up to the split line, and now I will place the walls. So for now I'm gonna just hot glue those pieces in place. And then now I will just clear all the edges with some additional clay. So the blade is ready. I added 3 venting lines on the blade to help air escaping from the mold. I'm gonna add a sprue later on the backside. And for now, I think we can add the packs and then start pouring some silicone. I'm just gonna use this file right here and the tip of the file to add some packs to the mold. So I decided to use this metal piece instead because the file actually is quite sticky and is pulling out the clay. Let's see if this will be working. So I measured the inside of the box and I will cover the mold with about 2 centimeters of silicone to get a rigid mold. Now I will mix both components. It's quite easy. This silicone has to be mixed A to B 1:1 by volume, by weight. So I will mix around 400 and 400 grams of each and then mix it and pour it in. So it's the next day, the first half is cured and we're gonna take apart the mold box and look what's inside. Great success! Here you can see the first half of the mold, and yesterday I totally forgot to add a vent here. This is rather important because I want to mold the piece like this, sitting with the blade downwards, and here there will be definitely air trapped. So I added a venting line here. I don't know why. I will not cut this one because I don't need this one. This one is okay and this one is okay, but I forgot this one. I will do it in the second half of the mold. Should be totally fine. And in the end I will add in the sprue. So I'm gonna cover it with mold release, build the mold box, or build the mold box first, cover it with mold release, and then I'm gonna cast the second half of the mold. So it's the next day, second half is cured. We're gonna take apart the mold box and see what's inside. So here are the two separated molds. This is something to support the molds when pressing them together. I'm just gonna cover it with mold release and then strap the whole mold and start the pouring process. So it's the next day. The casting had 24 hours, over 24 hours to cure. We will now open the mold and see how it looks like. So this is the first cast out of this mold. It really looks good, but I have some points which I have to improve. First of all, I did set the air traps on the right spot, but they weren't big enough so enough air can flow out. So I will have to enlarge those channels right here on this half, on the other half, especially this one. And which I didn't think about is there are some air bubbles right around here, around the handle, about the handle end. I will need to think if I make some air vents in this area also, maybe to the outside, so the air can flow out right here on the top. So I actually had to make 3 castings because the first one, as you saw, had an air bubble. The second one also, although I increased the venting, I then went in with some aggressive cutting and made the vents quite deeper. Now you can see I have a lot of flash, but I have no air bubbles, which is okay because you can easily cut off and break off these flashes. So I cleaned the cast up, I sanded it as you have seen, and now I gave it 2 good coats of glossy black color, and now we're gonna try to make a little metallic finish with some graphite powder, which I've seen on punished props, and then wrap around some cord around the handle, and basically we're done. For the metallic shiny finish, I'm gonna use these cosmetic pads and some graphite powder which I bought in a local hardware store. I also tried to make my own graphite powder, but it didn't turn out as I wanted to, as the chunks in it were too big and they were scratching the surface. So I'm just putting some graphite powder on the pad and then just start rubbing it all over the knife. It's pretty messy as the stuff will fall off and you will have to refill your graphite powder in your pad. In the beginning you cannot really see anything. I made a huge mess, but this is the final result of the graphite powder rubbing on, and I quite like how it shines. It's pretty shiny on the camera. It's not that silverish. It's a little bit more black in real life, but as you can see, it turned out really well. Now we're gonna wrap the handle with some basic cord and we're good to go. So after you have seen the whole process of mold making, casting and finishing the dagger, here is the final result. As you can see, it looks kind of black on the blade, but as soon as you turn it, you can see how freaking shiny it is. The graphite powder worked really well on this. I really love it, how it came out. Although it's not really close to the game, but it didn't really matter to me. I just want to go freestyle on this one. As said in the beginning, I want to make a giveaway because I'm close to 1,500 subscribers, and the prize will be this exact dagger which I made. I hope you guys like the prize. Maybe some people don't want it, but if you want to take part, just check out the link in the description below. There will be a Gleam giveaway where you can enter and do all the possible entries to win this dagger. In the end, as always, I hope you liked this video. If you did so, please mind subscribing to my channel, leave me a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section below. If you didn't like it, also leave a comment and tell me what to improve next time. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, have a nice day and goodbye.